Good evening. A library is a hospital for the mind. It is not a luxury. In fact, it is the necessity of life. It's my privilege to welcome the chief guest of today's function, Dr. Sai Baba from IGCA. Welcome, sir. I would like to welcome our principal, Dr. K. Prakasan, the brain behind this entire FDP, guiding minute to minute, right from the inauguration till the second. My hearty welcome, sir. My welcome to all the participants who have been very interactive right from day one till the second. I have never seen anyone getting absent for any of the sessions. And at the end of the day, we asked to submit an outcome, what they learned on a particular day. I could say all posting your outcomes in the outcome report in the Google Classroom. And when we said it's a consolidated report that you have to submit today, without no hesitation, everyone did it. A great applause and welcome to you all. I welcome the librarians, the team spirit behind them, especially under the coordination of Mr. Venkatesh, Dr. Arumugam and Prakash. The entire team has been running around for months to see what you really see this today. My library staff members, they have been working behind the scene. Welcome to you all. You all see the glimpse of feedback. That's really glad to hear from you. It's all taken by you and compiled, and that gives us a satisfaction we have done something to you. Industry 5.0 is advancing the collaboration between human and machines. This was what you were hearing right from day one till today. And it is finding the value through connected, virtual and human experience. The FDP was giving you every day how to apply Industry 5.0 for your own domain. How to use AI, ML, deep learning, NLP, robotics, vision, cloud, data analytics, blockchain, whatnot. You have experienced all these things. So now, I hope you will take all these treasures, go implement in your own institutions. And thank you for the opportunity given. Thank you. May I now invite our beloved principal, Dr. Prakasan, the captain of the ship, to deliver the presidential address.
Respected chief guest of the valedictory function, Dr. Sai Baba, visiting professor, NIAS, National Institute of Advanced Studies, and Professor and Director, Ramaiah, University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore. Participants, others present online, Dr. Karpagam and the team of library staff. Good evening, and I am happy to join with Dr. Karpagam in welcoming you all for the Valedictory Ceremony. I am familiar with NIAS campus. When I did my PhD in IAC Bangalore, my guide used to send me there to meet Professor Sundaram. And some of the research topics, papers, he used to send it to me, and he will say you talk to him sometime. So I had an opportunity to meet some of the big scientists. And thank you for being with us. So coming to the topic, Industry 5.0, so many things were there. And the day we put the proposal to ACTE, thoroughly discussed and put it on this. I listened to the feedback. Too much good is bad, because so I wanted to stop it. I am used to the MBA exit feedback several times, so I like it than the praise. So this is our fourth meeting going to happen in the next week of December. I am happy with the MBA exit meeting. Anyway, thanks to you for enjoying our hospitality. Hope the stay was comfortable, and as I heard, learning was good. Actually, the question paper setting pattern we were discussing in any of the HOD's meetings, and I continuously do this. Academics is more important in curriculum, assessment, outcome measurement, so many things are there. So CBSE, they have now put a book on question paper setting and the evaluation. It's a very nice preparation by a team of great people. In that, how to set the question correctly and how to put a question in a very vague manner without a context. Outcomes are only with context. So Newton's laws of motion, it is written. Question is, what is the profession of Isaac Newton? The better way of putting this question is, there is another way, but this question is not relevant. So everybody knows Newton is a scientist. There is no need of calling him as a professor or anything by our title. By nature we know him. So may I know from you, who is the father of modern library science? You went through a great session on library. I wish to know from you, who is the father of modern library science? Then you have not learned it. It is Professor S. Rangana. You have to learn that.
We have not identified modern.
Pardon?
We were not identify a modern library science.
Okay. But I said modern library science. Father of modern library science. When I say modern, the meaning is modern, not model, modern, new. Modern means this IT comes inside, Industry 5.0. For example, how you group information. He started the cataloging from University of London. He studied there, alumni of Madras University. I think you would have read about him. Now his work, how this is connected to our library science, I just wanted to say. See, if you look at the ancient Indian books, at the end of every compilation, I mean Sanskrit, at the end of the last compilation, there will be one line. If you decode it, you can understand the day, the month, the time, and the location where it was compiled. This is called the Kalidina Sankhya. Similarly, in library science, how such things might have been existing, we don't know. So the coding, capturing information, disseminating effectively without a great expense on that. The Sanskrit grammar, Panini's grammar, we have learned it. So there are sutras, Panini sutras, you have to make it by heart, no other way. Today books are there. So when you debate the sutras, its commentary will be given in next levels of learning. So you can apply that. But you have to remember this coding, in which order it has been put and which order you can apply. So whether it is AI, ML or deep learning or no learning, whatever it may be, this compiling information, storing and effective dissemination, like writing books. So everywhere this has to be coded, but today's textbook may not have that type of coding. Research paper, if you publish, there is a particular way of indexing. You talk about citation, because there is a business inside. How many citations you have, what is the popularity of the journal, what is the price of the journal, how much you spend to publish an article, so many things are there in that. I mean the ownership of the article. So you would have visited our library, large collection of books. There's a good opaque. The automation like RFID, those things are partially done, some more things are going to come. So one is the operational side, the other side is the information storage. I am more worried about the information storage and how to guide a knowledge seeker with minimum time spent in locating the information. I think we will be able to do that. So the library management, the operation side one, the books purchase, keeping them in a proper way, e-journals, lot of resources are available, NDLI, all these we are subscribing. So a person from computing can handle it better. I think Dr. Karpagam is in the right place. So when I appointed Dr. Karpagam, I know it is not library, it is information science. I used to tell her all the time, you can do a great job, and this is the first major breakthrough in their tenure. So I wish you all the best to make it still comprehensive, more efficient in terms of information dissemination. It is not giving book or anything. other part of library which you would have heard from many people from the Scopus or repositories or again in the operation side. But I am comparing the campus with the two major entities. One side is highly active, human activity very high. In the same campus you have a silent zone, that is library. So how the silent zone is coexisting with the active zone, like in nature you have mountains, you have ice covered region, you have deserts, you have highly populated human inhabited staying places like cities or villages, but we have isolated place. So what is the purpose of these two? That is what I think you should understand. The role of library more than that role of isolation. So the knowledge grows only through isolation. That's what you have to be silent, you have to be remote, you have to be isolated sometime. So when you say FDP, it is some type of isolation. Though you go back, you stay in a campus away from your home, get immersed in the total learning atmosphere, then knowledge grows. Dr. S. Radhakrishnan used to say this: intellect develops in company, soul develops in solitude. So the knowledge what you gain, it is not the book knowledge which you put in the class. Then nobody will listen to that. There must be internalization of what we learn. It should be an experience which you share with the student. To experience it, you have to keep quiet. It has to be what you call that. You have to chew it several times and absorb it fully. Then it comes in some other form which will be useful to somebody. So the purpose of library, purpose of automation, purpose of this information science as a whole is to make it more and more immersive, and the learner comes out with something new. So the entire workshop sponsored by ACT, this ATAL FDP, and you know the management is very benevolent. The entire infra, the entire hostel, canteen, whatever you have enjoyed, it's all their vision. And the founder of this campus, Dr. GRD, is a great visionary. He has put the library from day number 1 and he has started a press also, Librarian of Dr. this year. So you can see in him a complete personality of academics, knowledge, teachers, external exposure and resource making facility, library plus printing. So those days printing is not like today, very difficult. Those days you don't have enough computer based method or all that. And created many new things. So the topic is very modern, but I again tell you, go back, understand the library science from a condensed form of information. The books like in our Bhagavad Gita or Brahma Sutra and all, they will be only small words, but you can expand it for generations. Still you cannot understand. That much is the information content. So such strong theories of humanity that is developed only in India. And that way they communicated like Greek and Latin. Sanskrit also did that. Every language has their own coding method. And some of you are interested in that, you can take up research, connect it with a good new topic of IA or ML, and make your students go to library. That is very important. We also fail. We are not very successful because the reading is available in mobile or it is context-based learning. I don't want to learn today this question, I will get the answer. Tomorrow I don't care, some other question will come. Therefore, learning is something different. So this philosophy you spread in your classroom, make them read more, personality will improve, and they will cherish the life of a human being. Otherwise they will find it only with difficulties, the other abilities will not blossom in the students. So with all my few words, I thank all of you for giving the opportunity and being with us. Thank to the speakers. Inaugural session also you would have enjoyed. Dr. Ramaiah was here and the entire team has helped you well, and thank you once again. Thank you.
Address. It's time to honor our chief guest. May I now request Dr. Prakasan to present the memento to our chief guest Dr. Sai Baba, Visiting Professor, NIAS and Director, Center for Professional Development and Training, Ramaiah University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore. very distinguished academic figure, Dr. Sai Baba boasts an impressive array of titles and achievements. His versatility as an active researcher, scientific administrator, and institution builder is noteworthy of mention. Professor Sai Baba's significant contributions are in the areas of human resource development, technology transfer, intellectual property rights, and financial management within the Department of Atomic Energy. In his academic journey, he has traversed many terrains and played multiple key roles as the former director of the Resources Management Group at the Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, Karpagam, senior professor at the Homi Bhabha National Institute, and T.V. Raman Pai Chair Professor at the National Institute of Advanced Studies in Bangalore. Dr. Sai Baba has left his footprints in a wide spectrum of fields. Some of his notable accomplishments include the establishment of the BARC training school at IGCAR and his leadership in steering its programs. As the head of the Scientific Information Resources Division at IGCAR, he enhanced access to information resources through innovative technological initiatives. Professor Sai Baba also played a crucial role in implementing the National Education Policy at Ramaiah University. He has mentored numerous students, authored publications, delivered talks, and initiated collaborative research programs. It's only least surprising that his illustrious achievements have crowned him with several awards and recognitions. We have already been a witness to his scholarliness and profundity of knowledge in full display during the session this morning with an impetus on sustainable development and the need for upgrade in the context of library and information success. It's a pleasure to have him met again in this forum of valediction to give a fitting finale to this FDP. May I now request Dr. Sai Baba to deliver the valedictory address.
So good afternoon to all of you. Sometimes listening to the same person repeatedly can be boring, and I would like to see how can I avoid that. First of all, let me thank the PSG for inviting me to be here. It all started with Karpagam calling me one day and said, said whether I will be able to come here. And I think it is a letter from the principal, Prakasan. And I talked to Dr. Karpagam also. I think it was very nice, very apt that the marriage of computer science and information can happen here. And it's appropriate. I think it's, I keep telling to a lot of places that we need to make this graduation to information science. In fact, in the morning also mentioned, I would like to call all of you as information managers rather than librarians. Because librarians looks a little traditional, old-fashioned, but with no offense to them. But I think what is important is, morning, if you recall my talk, a lot of transition is happening, the way information is being provided or information is being generated. And sometimes it's too easy to look at the information, and that makes it difficult. I told searching is becoming difficult. And also getting the right information is becoming a challenge. These are all challenges where an opportunity for all of us, means those who are in the information science domain. Typically in any academic institute, we start with teaching as a focus. And when you do well in teaching, then the principal or the vice chancellor or somebody will say, what about your research? They will say no. Then you will say, I thought you were doing well, and suddenly somebody says you have to do research, and research is the game. You have to get funding, you have to get your scholars, you have to get the equipment, and then you have to publish papers. And when you think that you're doing well, and suddenly they'll say you have to write proposals and get proposals for funding. I think then you should say, oh, another game which you start to. So in this journey, now we said we created a place where silence is there. But I think we are going to make a transition to say from silence to discussion spaces. That's what I think we should do. So what I wanted to dwell on for the next 5 minutes or so is on how research is changing and what role the information scientist can play. This is something which first of all, I was very happy I visited your library in the morning. I'm very happy the way it is organized. One is very neat. I told her, when I visit some places, I have my own yardsticks to wall. Though I don't tell them what I'm observing, but I just observe and also see the people, their commitment, how they look sad or they look happy. These are all some parameters. I should not tell the secret. I can tell the secret now because I've already visited that place. First thing is that it has got all the components. I appreciate the PhD for taking this transition from library to what it should be. I'm very happy about that part. I'm sure it's an effort of the direction from the leaders and also effort. More importantly, there's another philosophical statement I make is, if something is going on well, don't think it's because of the procedures. If procedures are to be successful, I can always download the procedure from the internet and say, this is how the library should run. It's always the people who are with the procedures who will make it success. So whenever you see a success, there's always a group of people, a team supported by the leadership. That's what makes the success. So I could see that a good ecosystem is created. No wonder PhD is 70 years old, and obviously it's like a diamond. You see carbon becomes diamond when under pressure for long years. So PhD has gone to the transition. Now what is happening to research domain? Today what happens is that there's so much of pressure. I don't know, PhD pressurize or not. Every faculty should publish minimum 2 papers. I don't know that 2 is too less or 2 more. I don't know. You will just be privately. I think we should publish it. In Karpagam, I was steering this program. We set a target about publication, research publication. What should be the potential? See, when somebody says potential publication, now I did some work on assessing what can be the potential of publication from our organization, that is IGCAR. And we did some work, and in fact I didn't publish that work, but it's a very nice way of analyzing it. We have about 2,000 employees. If you just go by 2,000 to 4,000 is too much. So I classified the people into research, service, and research and service together. And then if you are purely research, 2 publications, research and service, 1 publication, and if you are doing only service, optional publications. And I arrived at a figure of 800 and presented this to the leadership, and that time we were only 400. That means there's a lot of scope for doing well. So then it started increasing. Every 3 months we'll present this data. So it's like, somehow we have to do this, and it went up to 650. So I would say this is a type of role we can play as the librarians or the information managers. If the management wants to implement something, you do the background work and analyze and present this data. So this is one job which we can do and go to the research. But then there is a lot more to research. Morning I showed you about Texas A&M University, what it's doing. I'm sure that I see your PhD also is doing a similar work. What is important is the researchers are budding researchers, matured researchers, or veterans of researchers, if you put it in this category. Then if budding researchers is where handholding is required. Now what happens is that another problem in our country is everybody rushes to the same field. If today everybody talks about AI, everybody talks about AI. Everybody talks about IoT. We looks like we are I think by tradition we are followers of somebody. Somebody says it. So what I say is that one of the domains which you should do where researchers or information scientists should spend time is what are the areas that are emerging in the research. Who will do this work? I'm sure individual department heads will do this job for their departments. But how does principal know where you should prioritize? What are the emerging domains that are happening? Now you can ask me, sir, I belong to none of these disciplines. Why are you asking me to identify these domains? But you get these journals to your library, right? You subscribe to these journals. You know which journals are doing well. What is the citation of the papers? Which area that is emerging? So there is one thing which where information scientists or librarians can help is, can we help them to identify these are the emerging domains? I remember former director, Dr. Valedictory Address, who also very strongly associated with the PhD, he used to ask me every week, I will send him the index of nature, science and these journals. Something that you always have an index of the contents of these journals. I used to send him. And then he will mark something of interest to him. And then of course we give him the actual journal also to when it comes there. Because what he is doing is that he is identifying which are the domains that are emerging, and if we have the expertise in our department or in our institute, you can tell, okay, call that person and say, why don't you work on this part of it? So that is, this is where identifying the emerging domains and showing the path, maybe you can do this. This is where it will be great help to the institution if you are able to do this job. If you cannot do it, you can always call the faculty members and have a discussion with them. That means identifying the emerging domains is one thing, which is, I think, even if you do not have knowledge, just by looking at journal papers, what is the content, which are the papers, I'm sure a lot of analytics are available now in the research. But this is what you should do in the background. You say, yes, this seems to the research area, go and discuss with the professors or discuss with the principal or vice chancellor, say, could these be areas? It's like giving a choice to them. Maybe half a dozen topics are given, and you would identify and say, maybe these two can be done so in the research is emerging in that direction. Typically what will happen is that, let us say tomorrow I want to research in artificial intelligence in library. Now you have been here for 5 days, you got enriched, AI plays a role, go back to library. But how do you start your research in AI in library? That means equipping individuals to do research is another important component. So making them aware of this requirement is another big domain of doing research, which I think we can take lead and say, looks like this is emerging. I talked about IoT in the morning. IoT doesn't mean that the light is getting on and off when you enter. That is only a very rudimentary according to IoT. Industrial IoT we are talking about. In fact, a student with me is working on social IoT. There's something emerging domain. What utilizes the existing computational capacity unutilized by the devices that are there, can it be used? This is something which the student is working at our university. So what I'm saying, can you identify this and say, maybe it looks like this an area. There are a lot of letters to editors will be there, reviews will be there. These are all things which can be done if you can spend some time looking at nature. Every time I go to the library, I look at an volume of nature, I know that I'm touching few lakhs of rupees. And then if it's not touched, you feel sorry that will happen. But I go back to the library and say, it's never open, 1 lakh rupees unspent. It's like a fixed deposit, you haven't forgotten to open it. This is something like it. So this is where research can be done. Now, there are a lot of research scholars will be there in your department, in your institute. Can we organize a weekly meeting, for example? Can you organize a weekly seminar of research scholars? I'm sure you may be doing many of these things, but it's meant for many of those people sitting here. These research scholars, colloquias can be documented, discussed. This is how the research domain can be enhanced. And they may need some help, for example. They may need to say, I'm doing an experiment, I want to do characterization of this. Where are the facilities that are available? With your network of universities, libraries, and other places, you should be able to find out. Don't restrict yourself to only books or information. Your contacts are there. No, all of you are here. You should become friends, batchmates of FDP, PhD, and utilize this network for helping people. Do you have a PhD, or do we have Ramakrishna? Do we have somewhere in IIM? These are what I think we should do as the information science. I only want to say, I don't know whether you've seen long time back, Tata said come out with an advertisement. He shows sort of things and say, we also make steel. I don't know whether you've seen this advertisement or not. They said they will show many things, but Tata is not for steel. Tata Steel is for steel making. But their advertisement campaign is, they do a lot of things, and then the last line is, we also make steel. Like that, we do a lot of things. We also maintain libraries. That's something what should be your duty. And other thing is about, morning I mentioned about ethics. Morning I mentioned about values. Today I have seen a lot of articles coming up, the chat GPT, or there are a lot of AI tools. There are some AI tools. In fact, I wanted to collect it and present it, but I did not do it. Maybe next time when I have an occasion. So a lot of AI tools. It is, if you just type the topic, it gives you what are all the papers that have appeared. That means your literature survey done. Okay, this is something AI told me to do. Or you write something, AI will tell you what all. So somebody says how to write a paper, how to write an introduction. Looks like we don't have to do anything, and then something else will be done. So PhD also can be given to them, not to you. So there are a lot of things that are emerging. So we need to get familiarized with that. I think so. Each of you should familiarize and use it in a judicious way and an ethical way, where you should be the torch bearers of use of these technologies, and then say this can be done. So this is the other thing which you can do. Of course, other things are already doing. I think background check is to be done. We also do something like, I don't know whether you have a preprint server in your library, in your PSG, every preprint server. That means if I send a paper for publication, first I should deposit it to my university. That means it should go through a route. That means I will publish only through that. That is an advantage because I know that every NAAC, all this accreditation will come. You don't have to struggle, you know which paper is. But there is one small hitch in that is, if I send a paper, it is rejected, it is known. That's why people are hesitant to use that. But I think we should create a gateway where all publication is routed through that gateway so that you are aware of it. Maybe you don't have to tell to everyone, but at least the gateway can be created. This is something, other thing which we can do. And so helping the scholars, helping the faculty, I told in the morning how IG Karpagam did the subject specific gateways we created. This is very important initiative according to me because you can help the scholars. That I divided them and said, okay, you concentrate on nuclear fuel, you concentrate on something else, collect all the literature that is appearing. So it's like a summarizing, because this is an era before ChatGPT and AI. I said, please do this so that you be helpful to the researchers. So like this, all of us can reorient ourselves and then try to be relevant and useful to the people. Then you would say, okay, nobody will ask why library. Yeah, I know that it's always a challenge to get funding for library, but I'm happy to see PhD supports with good funding. Every library has a problem of funding. If the funding has to be cut, it will be libraries. That's something which is happening. I don't know if it happens in PhD, but in IGCAR also it happens. I think they say, can you see what happens in IGCAR's problem was, we do this renewal happens until January. And we go to DAE and submit what is the expenditure incurred. And we used to have what I thought maybe I should 10-15 crores is the budget for us. And that money will not be spent. When we go to review, you will say the money is not spent, but let's spend. No, I used to argue with them, no. Luckily I was there in that review also. So I would say, no, this money will be spent in February, please don't cut. Otherwise we will not be able to do that. So there's always a danger of funds being cut. So that's where we have to be proactive and discuss. First of all, I would say all information scientists should feel part of the mainstream. It's not that we are somewhat supplementing the whole thing. We have to be part of it. And this will happen if you can contribute. Right? If you can contribute. Otherwise, what is there? And nobody goes to library. Why should library be? These are issues which are coming now. So we have to be relevant by reorienting ourselves and learning. I will say not that everyone should do everything. What I say is that in a library there are 10 people are there. You can internally discuss and say, this aspect of it I will take care. Intellectual property rights, I said, or open science we are calling, open data we are calling, data repositories we are calling. I think this is how we can apportion ourselves and say, maybe I do this and you do that, and this can be put together. It will be great strength to the organization, and automatically you will get important, automatically you will get support. Then probably I'll go and tell you another thing which is very disturbing to me will be the publication from library information science people. This is something which I know that I have become, you will get angry when I make this statement. Just go back and look at the publications that are coming from library information science. Where are they? Are they getting added up? This is something which we have to really worry about. So we need to venture into newer things. Don't worry about bibliometrics or psychometrics work which has to do. A lot of things we need to contribute by collaborating with people. I said in the morning, I went to there, I saw the RFID gates. We did some work in VECC Kolkata to get a new RFID gates. We means I am already out of Karpagam at that time, but they did that part of it. So if you have an electronics department, you have an instrumentation department, you go and discuss with them and see whether you can develop these gates out there. So this is how I think we need to move in terms of how technology can be integrated. While getting integrated, don't think somebody else's job. If RFID is there, somebody else is doing it. This is something we need to do it. So I would suggest that our publications, our research, maybe we should work on what type of strength we have this country in a particular domain. This is by publication, this is by citation. Is the value of citation itself can be questioned now. I think whether index is relevant or not. This is something which we need to look into. The way we are measuring research output, is it relevant? Maybe we should do all this type of research which can be done by the information scientists along with the See, computer science people, if you go, they will not listen to you because they will be very busy writing algorithms about how AI can improve it. But you would like to apply for that part. So I think I would suggest to you that there is a lot of scope for all of us. I think once you shed this inhibitions, oh, why should I do this, or it's not my job. If you come out of that, I'm sure that we'll all be relevant, not only relevant, we'll be contributing to the growth of the organization. If you see today, when this lecture came to me about this title of this, I thought it's very pertinent, but then I have to wonder whether the librarians will become irrelevant. That means you go to the library, a robot will come, take the book, and then put it there. In 1988, when I went to Germany, you want a book, this ground basement is full of old volumes. And that one, the book, somebody will be there, they put an anchor there, and it comes into the first floor. That means imagine now, it happened in 1988, today we are in 2023. So already automation is happening. It is possible that many of the things which are being routine need not be done. Whether that worries us, actually should relieve us. Just imagine, I used to cross my library every time. The librarian will be always be reading something. Even when I'm crossing, I'm the head of library. But I'm crossing, but still they don't look at me. But after a few times they realize that I come often, but I come unannounced. I know it's not good it's not fair on my part, but I have a work, I just walk in. And I see that they are bored and they look to newspaper or something like that. So why I'm saying this is that if you are not doing something exciting to you, you tend to become irrelevant for yourself. How much ever we argue, it is you who are becoming irrelevant. I told so many things to them, can you do this, can you do that? But then I created one system that every day you read newspaper, you're interested in newspaper, no, please read newspaper, but please note down what information is coming out nuclear in the newspaper. I've created news clips of that. And this is how I think why I'm saying is that we have to be relevant. Human beings somehow crave for recognition. And if you are not getting recognition, you tend to get into hibernation and start complaining about the system. That system is not good, library is not supported, not encouraged. But I say to you that please become relevant by picking up things which will be supporting to them. And I told all these things which are not very much far from your domains. Books are there, they will come. In fact, I remember every Monday morning I used to rush to the library, look at journals, because every Monday this will be, I don't know, in your library what is the time. Saturday will be the time when they put everything. Monday morning you rush and then look at the journal, what paper is there. Now you don't look at it because it comes to your mailbox, it's already available now. So that job is less now. So all the things which traditionally we are doing are disappearing. But new opportunities are coming. That's where training is required. Maybe FDPs like this are important that we should train. But then these FDPs, actually I saw that everybody is very happy and saying that we learned a lot. And then the question, after 1 month we should ask this question, what we have learned in this FDP, I think. So you go back and tell your bosses or tell your heads or whatever it is, we learned a lot. Like Prakasan asked a question, you can ask a question, maybe you'll ask, initially you'll answer it. But my interest is that I think I want as a librarians or as a community, as an information scientist as a community, please reorient yourself. We need people to fill up those gaps. Why I tell you is that if I'm a researcher in chemistry, I'll bother only about chemistry. If she's a researcher in computer science, he'll bother only about computer science. If he's a researcher in production engineering, he will bother about that. As a librarian, you will bother about everything. So that means you will be able to bring that information to the people. So I think it's important. You are very important as the librarians. Libraries are important for organizations. Till the time has not come that no university, no institute start without library. So that means it's very relevant. So please enjoy work. And I know in the morning I don't know whether you remember one quote which I said, yesterday's our strengths are past, they are the beginning. And the new strengths that are happening, new things that are emerging, we have to learn new things and become, to be relevant, we have to learn new things. And the life is changing so fast that maybe every 5 years the skill sets are changing, new things are coming, and our life working is about 40 years, 35 to 40 years working in organization. Just mean 8 times we have to change our skill sets. That's what minimum has to be done. But I think I would only say to you, I have become head SARD without becoming a librarian. I never studied library science. I manage reasonably well. That means we all of us can do that part of it. So it's only a question of your commitment to excel. That is what is needed. I'm sure I only maybe stop by telling this philosophical statement. I used to meet a lot of my colleagues who come and meet me, sir, I'm retiring now. I said, okay, best wishes. I'll ask about his personal growth. But then he will always have regrets about he could have done better. Okay. And then he will give a reason because of A, B, C, I could not do this. So I used to tell them, at the end of the day, you have not done the job. Whether it's because of A, B, C, doesn't matter. You have not done the job. And you will carry this of your inability that you could have done, you have not done. And hence I will tell to all youngsters, do not complain because of A, B, C that you are not able to do it. If you are ready not to do the work, don't regret. That is also okay for me. You come out and say, I have no regret, sir, I am retiring. But if you have carry a regret, that will be reminded with you. So what I say to you, all of you, is that we should find ways which gives us satisfaction. Whatever it is, please choose that, but be honest with yourself and continue with that. There is no point in regretting later. So I think this is something which I wanted to tell. I am sure that sometime I gave a similar lecture to one of the management program, and one lady put up and said, sir, you already retired, so you talk like this. What happened? I just told promotions do not matter, I told her. So she was very upset and said, you already retired. I said, because I retired, I am telling you, because I have gone through this process. and I am telling you. But I would say, we should have aspirations. I think I told this in a quote which I am very fond of sharing with people. People should have aspirations. All of us have aspirations. If you have aspirations, you should work for the aspiration. But I will also add one caveat to that. The next question to ask really is that, why are you having aspiration? Tomorrow, I want to climb Mount Everest. It's an aspiration. Somebody went on mountaineering. So, do you want to have that aspiration? So, I would say to all of you is that please have all the aspirations, work for it, but do one calculation that whether I should aspire for it or not. Once you are convinced about it, you will do very well. I stop here. I think my wife says, you start, you don't stop having. So, I think let me only wish good luck for all of you. Let me congratulate the PhD team for doing this and also making me to understand a little more about Industry 5.0, which I think normally when somebody asks me to give a talk, I have to add something new, otherwise I will become irrelevant. So I think I understood about Industry 5.0, it's very relevant. In fact, if you see Industry 5.0 is, if you go back to our scriptures, the scriptures said exactly the same thing. You have to take care of yourself. You also have to take care of your surroundings. I think, when we say India is a rich country, not because we are proud, just because scripture told so many things, which world is coming back to it. I'm sure that we'll all do well, and best wishes to all of you. I think, I'm very sure, I hope you do not have any doubt when you leave this place that information science will continue to be relevant, and we will reorient ourselves, maybe organize some programs to learn some new skill sets. And so best wishes to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Libraries store the energy that fuels the imagination. They open up windows to the world and inspires us to explore, achieve and contribute to improve our quality of life, the World Space Initiative. With that, I stand before you with a heartfelt gratitude as we conclude this enriching ATAL FDP on Reengineering of Library Landscape, aligning with Industry 5.0. It has been an insightful journey, and I would like to express a sincere thanks to all those who have made this program a success. My sincere thanks to the Management Trustee and Head of the institutions and the authorities of our institution for providing a space to achieve this grand success point. A warm and graceful evening to our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. M. Sai Baba, Visiting Professor, NIAS and Professor, Director from Center of Professional Development and Training, Ramaiah University of Applied Sciences, Bangalore, Principal, participants of the program, organizing team and everyone who gathered here. it's my privilege to propose a vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked really hard to make this event happen successfully. On behalf of PhD College of Technology and the ATAL FDP organizing team, I thank the Almighty for making the 6 days ATAL FDP program a resounding success. With the blessings and grace, we are able to make this event what it was. My sincere thanks to our Honorable Chief Guest and inaugural speakers and all our resource persons who has thrown an insightful light on various concepts and technologies, which really makes us a wonderful scenario to work in a different library landscape in our aligning with Industry 5.0. A special mention to our respected principal, Dr. K. Prakasan, for being instrumental and stimulating us to do our best and standing as a pillar of strength. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our Professor in Charge Library, Dr. Karpagam, for the wonderful support rendered to us to carry out the program in a dedicated way, the proper degree of freedom which makes us to attain a grand success with this program. Thank you, ma'am. And first and foremost, our deepest gratitude goes to our esteemed facilitators and resource persons. Your expertise, dedication and passion for libraries have truly illuminated our understanding of the evolving role of libraries in the academic sphere. Your invaluable insights will undoubtedly shape the way we approach our roles as educators and information stewards. My sincere thanks to the resource person from the various esteemed organizations, Dr. C. Ramesh Gaur, Dr. Shubhshri Nag, Dr. K. Illavalagan, Dr. Ross Sevugan, Mr. Vijay Jayasilan, Dr. Danu Patnashetty, Dr. Akhtar Parvesh, Mr. Srinivas Ragavan, Mr. Saranna Prabhu, Dr. K. S. Kuppuswamy, Dr. Shubhra Datta and Dr. M. Sai Baba. I thank Mr. GRD Memorial and Mr. Sashi Kumar from Genetics India Private Limited for permitting us to visit the industry working in the domain of Industry 4.0. It's really enlightening the participants with the recent technology on mnemonics, augmented reality and virtual reality with the greatest experience. We had a wonderful experience and got a very good comment on visiting this industry visit. Thank you so much Genetics India for allowing us to give a wonderful experience on that. I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks to AICT ATAL, whose generous support made this program possible. Your commitment to the advancement of education and knowledge is commendable, and we are grateful for the opportunity to benefit from this initiative. To all the participants, thank you all for your active engagement, enthusiasm and willingness to learn. Your presence and contributions have made this program a dynamic and collaborative experience. We hope that the knowledge gained here will empower you to enhance the knowledge and library services at your respective institutions. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The wheels started rolling out months ago. We have been fortunate enough to be backed up by a team of very proactive and dedicated library team, the librarians, my fellow colleagues, assistant librarians and all library staff members and our wonderful library interns. With a deep sense of appreciation, I thank all of you for your wonderful untiring efforts. My sincere thanks to the Library Advisory Committee members, ATAL Organizing Committee members for your support. Our sincere gratitude goes to all well-wishers for being the rock-solid support system from maintenance to networking, canteen to housekeeping operations for your kind cooperation and support. I would also thank the people, those who work behind the scheme. As we leave here today, let us carry forward the spirit of learning and collaboration that has characterized these past 6 days event. May the ideas have exchanged and friendship formed serve as a foundation for future collaboration and innovations in the realm of libraries. Once again, thank you everyone who has played a role in making this ATAL Faculty Development Programme on Reengineering of Academic Library Landscape aligning with Industry 5.0 a resounding success. We look forward to applying the knowledge gained and contributing to the continued growth of your academic community. Have a safe travel and best wishes to all of you. Thank you so much.